All right, welcome everyone to the Thursday Elite Training. Um, so today I'm going to be doing a training on Mutual of Omaha IUL Express. And before we start, typically the way I decide if the client should get a Mutual of Omaha IUL or Americo IUL or let's say Fidelity and Guarantee IUL, those three are the most common IULs that we use in our agency. Now, if a client says if they are specifically looking for a budget-friendly IUL and they have a certain amount of budget and they're still looking to get a large amount of coverage with living benefits at an affordable price, then typically my first go-to is Americo or Mutual of Omaha. Okay, because the price point is just one of the best in the country. So still can give them that permanent coverage, still give them the death benefit, the living benefits, and the cash value. Like we are just talking to Corinthia about, Americo has a higher interest rate on average on the illustration, and it can be more affordable than Mutual of Omaha. So if we were to be writing an Americo IUL or Mutual of Omaha IUL, if it's anywhere other than California, I would recommend to do the Americo first. See if the client can qualify for Americo first. But in California, since Americo is a new IUL product and the Division of Insurance still not approved has not approved the living benefits yet, the critical and chronic illness, I would probably do the Mutual of Omaha IUL in California. That would be my recommendation on that. And if the client says, you know what, Sean, I would love to max fund my IUL for retirement purposes, then I would custom the IUL with Fidelity and Guarantee Pass Setter. So that's kind of my thought process. Okay. So because agents are asking which IUL is the best, I can't say one is best because different situation, I choose different products. Okay. So talking about Mutual of Omaha IUL, the illustration software is not as easy as Americo. Americo one is very straightforward. You can just go to the agent tools on Americo.com and quote it and also make an illustration right away. But Mutual of Omaha one is a little different. So let's go ahead and I have some brand new agents here as well. So let me show you. Okay, so when you're in the sales tools, and I'm gonna just show you a comparison between the Americo IUL and the Mutual of Omaha IUL as an example. We're gonna go to carriers and products under sales tools, and we're gonna go to we can go to carriers, and let's start with Americo, right? And then there's an e-app. Once you do it, it's gonna take you to your Americo Agent Tools website, and you'll be landing in the product selection page. And this is a feature that some agents don't know, so just wanted to share this with you. If a client started an application with you, but you never completed it, and midway you stop the application, it still saves up to that place. Okay. So if you stop at page 3 of 8, then it's still going to be there. So you can put the client's name here and you're able to do the go find the application that is still halfway completed. Okay. So that's another tool that some agents don't know. So you can search it right there and continue the application. Now we're going to use the quoting tool. So in this case, we're going to use Nevada as an example. And let's use a client who is a 40-year-old male. Instant decision IUL. And under illustration, there's a calculator looking image. You click on that. So 40 male, nicotine use none. And this is where you put the face amount. Okay. The face amount is at 50,000 as a default. We can change this up to $450,000. Okay, so that's the max amount. with the Americo IUL. Solve option, there's basic solve, maximize cash value solve, and a custom premium solve. Typically, we use Americo for affordability, so we keep it at basic solve. If a client says, hey, I want to put more money in there, then you can do a maximized cash value. But I do want to give you a heads up. You only get paid on the basic solve amount. So what I mean by that is, let me just give you an example with $450,000. On a basic solve, it's $278 a month. But if we go ahead and do maximize cash value, client is putting additional $417 and the client's monthly premium is 696 a month instead of 278. So that's a lot more. So agent's going to be thinking, wow, I'm going to get paid commission on a $696 a month times 12, but it's not that way. And how do you find out? You can go to create report, open report, and you can scroll down to page 15, which is the last page. And what does it say? Monthly target premium is $278.72. So this is what you get paid on. Even though the client is paying how much? $696, right? Here, because we maximize the premium. But you're only getting paid commission on the 278. So I'm not saying to just do it for your commission, but I just wanted to give you a heads up so you know that you're not gonna get paid on almost $700 a month times 12, which is like 8,200 versus 278 a month, which will be a lot less commission. So just it's great for the client, but just make sure you know you get paid on the target and not on the planned monthly premium because the way why IULs don't pay out on the actual payment that client pays versus the target is because IUL is a cash value policy and it's a flexible plan. So clients can overfund it, but if they overfund it by two, three, four, $500 on top of the target, that money goes straight to the cash value. It does not go to the cost of insurance. So Americo or Fidelity or Mutual of Omaha does not earn money on that. It's really for the client. It goes to the cash value. That's why overfunding the part does not pay the agent. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Just wanted to show you that. So typically, Americo, I go with basic solve. If a client says I want to maximize the cash value, then I go ahead and go to FNG and do a custom IUL for the client that fits best for the client's budget and what the goals are for the client. Okay. So we're going to keep it at basic solve. So that's 278.72. Now let's make this $300,000 since Mutual of Omaha IUL only goes up to 300,000. So Americo at 300,000 is 187.61 a month for a male that's 40 years old. And we're going to generate an illustration. It's very easy. You click create report, click open report, and done. In 10 seconds, you should be able to have a 15-page illustration right away generated for you. And while that is loading, we're going to go ahead and go to the page view, go back to the HQ, quility.com. I think the computer is a little slow. Okay. All right. There you go. So we're going to go back to carrier resources and we can go ahead and go to sales tools, carriers and products, carrier quotes, quote now. This is if you wanted to just quote it. And Mutual of Omaha one is super easy because they have a mobile quoting tool, which you can download this on your phone as well, on your Apple device or Android device, you can go and put Mutual of Omaha quotes for sales professional on the app store. Then you can download this. Okay. Really easy. Index Universal Life Express. And we're going to change it to Nevada so we can do apples to apples comparison. So we're going to do 40 years old, male, non-tobacco for $300,000 just to see how much it is. How much is it? 186 a month, right? If we go back, how much was Americo? It's 187. So actually, in this case, Mutual of Omaha is $1 cheaper. So this is how I can calculate right away and compare the rates for the clients. Okay. And this is just a quoting tool. It's $1 difference, so there's really doesn't make a big difference for the client. We're going to go back to the hq.quility.com and we're going to go to carriers and products, go to carriers page, go to Mutual of Omaha, and if you scroll down, they show you all the products that are available here. And there is something called click here to create a quote through Move software. Click here to access WinFlex web application, right? So this is what you want to click. The click here to access WinFlex web. This is their illustration software where you can illustrate IULs. So you can click that. It's going to take you to winflexweb.com. So if you have not created your account, make sure you register for WinFlex, and that's winflexweb.com. Okay, let me put it into the chat. And you click login if you already have an account. And on here, you see it says illustration. Click on that. And it says start a new case. So you click on that. Mutual of Omaha. And the product name is Index Universal Life Express, right? That's the product. And we click create client. And this is client name. So we're going to just put John Doe in this case. And we said the client is 40 years old. So either you have to put the birthday or their last age. Male, risk class standard non-tobacco. State, you have to change it to wherever your client is in. And then what you do here is you just go through let me just move this real quick. It's blocking. Let me make this just a little bigger so you can see. You go down these different options. So you go to solve for. We leave it at easy solve. Easy solve, by the way, if you go back to the Mutual of Omaha quoting tool, click on Index Universal Life, it says what? Index Universal Life Express Easy Solve. Easy solve means that Mutual of Omaha has already calculated what is the appropriate amount of monthly premium that the client should pay that's going to keep the policy intact for the rest of their life or 120 years old. So that's the amount of premium that they recommend the client should put minimum for the policy to last them a lifetime, no matter how long they live. Okay. So when you're in this, you leave it at easy solve unless you're going to do a custom. Okay. But with Mutual of Omaha, we usually use it for easy solve. Easy solve option. We're trying to solve it for premium by putting in the face amount, and we put $300,000 in there. If a client wanted to choose a specific premium and see how much the coverage will look like for the $50 premium, then you just put 50 here. But since we're doing a comparison, we're going to put $300,000 there. Okay. And disbursement, you don't have to change anything. Index strategies, you don't have to change anything there because it's already in the most highest interest rate one, 5.95 maximum illustrated rate. That's the average over the last 20 plus years. Policy options, you leave it at level. BSP is a bank payment monthly, leave it at that. So you really don't have to change much here. The accelerated benefit rider, these are the living benefits, so it already comes in at no extra cost. So you don't have to do anything there. Reports, you don't have to change anything there. Agent info. So you can go ahead and put one of the your information here. Now, you can also save it. You can save that information so you don't have to put this on here every time. So for example, if I do it, I should already have one. Click on it, it's already in there, right? And concepts, you don't have to do anything. And then right above the concept, it says calculate. When you click on calculate, it is calculating an illustration, generating 20 page or so illustration for John Doe, male, 40 years old in Nevada for IUL Express. And this one takes a little longer, about 30 seconds. So it's calculating. It says complete. Once it comes to the summary page, you can click on this PDF image and it will download the actual illustration. And now we're here. Zoom in a little bit. So 300,000, 40-year-old male, 186 a month. It comes with the living benefits, right? And if you scroll down and go to the tabular detail, you have to go to page 28. And as you see, on the left side, it shows you the policy year, so the anniversary of the client having this policy and the age that the client will be at. And annualized premium outlay, 2,237 is $186 times 12. So what the client pays monthly times 12. They're just showing how much the client is paying into this. Okay. On the Mutual of Omaha, you see it's broken down to guaranteed, alternate scale, non-guaranteed, and non-guaranteed. So guaranteed interest rate of 0%, what does that mean? This means that if the market crashes, because this is a fixed index universal life, our clients don't lose any money that they have accumulated up to that point. It has a 0% floor. Okay. But this illustration is very unrealistic because this is saying that the client will get a negative return, not a negative return, get a 0% return for 10, 20 years back to back because the market did negative every year for the next 10, 20 years. Like I mentioned before, if that's the case, then most likely the world is coming to an end. If the S&P does negative for 10 plus years in a row, most likely the world is coming to an end. Okay. There's never been more than 3 years back to back negative. Okay. So this is unrealistic, guys. The middle one, alternate scale, non-guaranteed interest rate of 3.75. This is assuming that there will be twice as much market crashes than in the regular, how it has performed over the last 20 plus years. So it's still not realistic, guys. And I always tell the client, the reason why I go with the non-guaranteed, which is at 5.95, is because Mutual of Omaha actually looked back and saw how the market has performed and what the interest the client has been credited with that index. And they're showing you the interest rate over time that averaged 5.95. So this includes the market crashes throughout the years. This is not just showing you the best scenario. This showing you the market dips, the market upsides, up and down, up and down. History tends to repeat. So this is pretty safe to say And Mutual of Omaha over the last 10, 20 years, they have outperformed the illustration rate. Okay, they have done better than what they have illustrated. Okay. Now, so if we are going to look at the non-guaranteed interest illustration accumulation value, you see this is the way it's growing here. And the way I can compare this to the America one is I can look at 10, 20-year, 30-year mark. So let's take a look. 10-year mark, it's at 14,686, right? I'm gonna try to do this so that we can do an apples to apples comparison. Okay. Same thing here. We're not going to look at the 0% floor or the alternate because this is what the market has performed based on the last 20 years. So let's compare apples to apples here. So we're going to look at only the far right columns, okay? 10-year mark, Mutual of Omaha has 14,686 accumulation value, and America has 14,523. It's only like $150 difference. It's very minimum. Let's go to the 20-year mark. Mutual of Omaha has 42,889. And here, there's Americo has 39,215. You see that? Mutual of Omaha, 30 years, has 88,495. And America has 80,314. And by the client is 80 years old, 40 years in, America has 137,000. And by the time client is 137,000, I mean, client is 80 years old, there is 149,000 based on the illustration. So just so you know, depending on the client's age and gender, one illustration might look better than the other. Okay. So that's how you can compare those two different illustrations. Okay. Sometimes Mutual of Omaha is a little cheaper. Sometimes Americo is a little cheaper, depending on the age group. So if the client is in a between 20 to 40-year-old age group, sometimes Mutual of Omaha is cheaper. Most of the time, as a client gets older, Americo tends to be a little cheaper. So you can do that comparison if you wanted to. But just my recommendation is if the client is not in California and both of them have living benefits, then America one is a lot easier in terms of generating the illustration and finding out if the client gets approved or not in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the application. So that's why I typically go with America first. Now, Mutual of Omaha also has that feature now, but Mutual of Omaha, the only downside that I see compared to America is that it only goes up to 300,000. So if a client wanted more coverage, then this cannot. Whereas Americo goes up to 450,000, so you can give the client more coverage. But what is the downside of Americo? Is Americo lower the age to 65, so client cannot get an IUL with Americo if they're over 65, versus Mutual of Omaha goes up to age 75. So there's pros and cons on both products, and you can determine which one is the best fit for the client. Okay. And then you can also look at the different features and benefits of the plan. There's usually a plan that explains about the accelerated death benefit rider, like the critical illness and how it gets paid, and how much maximum it pays out. The America one has also a page that explains the living benefits. So you can kind of compare the two different products and see what's the best fit for the client. But both products, in my opinion, are excellent because it's one of the best priced IULs in the country. Um, when you compare with a lot of the other ones, like big competition for Mutual of Omaha and America would be like Transamerica. It could be like National Life Group. So those will be the different comparisons that you can do. All right. Any questions? We'll open up for some questions.
So just to reiterate, the only difference, well, there's a few, but mostly between Americo and Mutual of Omaha is the living benefits. Mutual of Omaha comes with critical, chronic, and terminal, and Americo IUL comes with only terminal
In California.
in California.
Yeah. Other states, they both have all three.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good to know.
So, yeah, just California is usually the slowest to approve those living benefits. So it's nothing to do with Americo. It's really have to do with the insurance department of
The
California
state.
to approve
Okay.
that. The state. Correct.
Sean, I
I have a
have a
question.
question for you.
Go ahead, Catherine.
Okay. Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
yeah, so I'm listening to what you're saying here, and I wrote an IUL with Americo last week or the week before
Hmm.
for one of my clients that wanted to overfund that thing. And I set it up at we did a custom amount. So instead of doing them in Americo's thing, instead of doing basic or doing max accumulation, we did custom. And
Hmm.
so the max accumulation premium with the basic premium, and then if we would have maximized that was like 639 per month. He
Okay.
opted to do just 500 a month into that
Okay.
account. Um, when I set it up as option A.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of in listening to you. Did I do the right thing for him in not selecting option B?
No, not necessarily. How old is the client, by the way?
He's 59.
And is the health okay? It seems like pretty okay. You've got approved with
Yeah,
Americo.
he just has diabetes, he has high blood pressure, but he's only on one blood pressure medication and he doesn't take
Mm,
insulin or anything. He's on
okay.
metformin and Mounjaro for the diabetes.
Gotcha. So I would say if I were to be making a recommendation, and I mean already you wrote it, and it's still a great product and a great setup. But if I were to be doing a custom, I might go with like FNG pass setter, and just keep it at level death benefit because, and I'll tell you why. If the client's age was 40 right now, then I
Mhm.
might do an increasing death benefit and go option B because
Okay.
the cost of insurance is still not that high. But at the age of 59, the cost of insurance is pretty significantly high and it's going to keep going up. So that's going to drain the cash value most likely. So if a client was in a baby or in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s even, I would say increasing death benefit could work by overfunding it. But if they're past 50, I would say probably staying at level and max accumulation. Kat, I think I did an illustration on that last week. I do option A, but choose a solve for maximum accumulation and income solve.
Yeah.
Leave it at level. And that's how I would do it and put the monthly income that the client is comfortable, let's say 500, and calculate it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I was just more about I mean, in the appointment, this was really like I was getting the think about it and I was about to lose the deal. And then I
Mm.
literally just threw it out there in my conversation of like, do you
Oh,
even
wow.
understand how an IUL works? And he's
Yeah,
like, no, not really. And I said, well, why don't you let me show you this illustration? And he's like, oh, I want to do that. So I didn't really have time to pivot him
gotcha.
over
Hmm.
to F&G.
Makes
So I don't
sense.
feel like I gave him a bad product. I just
No,
started
you're not. Mm.
wondering if I should have selected that option B over option A piece of it.
No, no. I
Okay.
think you did it the right way. So if we were
Okay.
gonna stay with Americo or FNG, I would say at his age, the level option A is better.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it definitely cost me and obviously the commission piece of it, right? So, and I
But this
did know,
is
but I was just doing it because it was what he wanted and it looked good for him. And the cash accumulation and stuff was good for him. So, I just stuck with that regardless
yeah,
of the
and
piece.
that's okay. I mean, now what you could do, Kat, is that's why the annual policy review is awesome. Is a year from now, you reach out to the client and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and just went into a policy review. And what I would do is I would just kind of go over the benefits again and just explain to him one more time. But then you can say, hey, by the way, there's this new product that came out, and I it's been illustrating a lot better for the client, so you will have a lot more money in the future. And I was thinking that that might be more beneficial to you.
Yeah.
So maybe you can just show the illustration and who knows, maybe a miracle does better. I'm not saying
Yeah.
FNG will do better, but you could compare it and if the client is going to have a few thousand more or $10,000 more in the future, then you could also upgrade him to that in the future.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I guess I was just more thinking about whether that level or the increasing death benefit was better for him because he could
Yeah.
always, after the first year, elect to change that, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, yes, he can. Yeah. So I think you did great.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just leave it as it is.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Stephen Ha, you had a question, right?
Yes, sir. So in the
Yeah.
beginning, you said something about California and Americo of, of the living benefits. You said yet, as in they're not going to be approved yet, as in there's a chance.
Yeah. So
Oh,
even Mutual of Omaha IUL, when it first came out, California did not have all the living benefits.
oh,
It
what?
only had terminal, yeah. After like a year or two, they got that.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it takes longer. Process is just longer in California for most of the this type of thing. So there's a great chance in the next couple of years that Americo's IUL living benefits will be approved and that will be included. Now, it doesn't get grandfathered, by the way. Okay.
Oh,
The, the client who signs up after they get that included, they will be able to get that benefit, but it does not automatically grandfathered into it.
okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Just whatever happened at that moment, then that's what it was. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy because I remember when we had IULE in California, there was no living benefits. And then your previous training about that, you said that there's living benefits, critical, chronic, critical
In terminal.
and terminal for
Yeah.
IULE. I was like, wait, that can't be right, but I guess it's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Interesting.
things changed. Like
Yeah.
it's just approval. Other states approved already when it came out right away. Some states just take a longer period of time. So that's the
I
only difference.
see. So once this, yeah, yeah, it could change for the better later on. I didn't know that. I thought it's just Americo IUL, no living benefits for California, and then that's it. But
Ah,
no,
okay.
I was
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Sean, really
So
quick. So then how do
yeah.
they get those benefits? If they're not grandfathered in, then do they have to call and ask for them to be
No,
included?
no, no, you can't do it. Then
Oh, so
you'll have
once
to
they sign up,
yeah, you'll
oh,
have to rewrite the policy to get a new one.
interesting. Okay. Okay. That's good to know. To not say anything. To not
Yeah,
say
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't get yourself in a pickle. Yeah, so for sure.
Sean,
All
F and
right.
G has all of them, don't they?
FNG, yeah, FNG has all of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Any other questions?
Actually, I have a quick question. I was thinking about this because I saw one of those ads on YouTube about like, oh my, it's like really sad, like, oh my kid has leukemia and it's like 2 years old or something. So like if you got an IUL for a child and they had to use those living benefits, would that be an option still? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good to know.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, the American Mutual of Omaha Express products do not cover children. So
Mhm.
FNG one does cover that. So yeah, that's why I go with FNG for children's IUL.
Good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys. Hopefully it was a good training, and I will get this uploaded to the YouTube channel, the Kim Agency YouTube channel. I'm starting to post everything on there, so you'll be able to rewatch it. And yeah, you have a blessed day. Okay, talk to you soon.
Hey, Sean, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody here should just stay here. I don't understand why people leave the dojo. If you have questions, you can ask questions on the fly. They don't always get answered.
Yeah,
If you're working alone and you feel like you're lost and you're like, wow,
yeah,
this I'm lost. This sucks. But if you stay in the dojo, people are there to help you. And even if
yeah,
you just jump in and jump out, just so you know,
yeah.
like there's a community to help
Hmm.
you. So I just don't think like I don't know if you have a job, I get it, I understand you got to bounce, but if you're just gonna go off, I mean, even if it's just to have a